YouTube, I'm Elwirfy and today we're going to be talking about some more Starcraft 2.
Your ally is being attacked!
We're going to do some Starcraft 2 stuff, talking about the Marauder. Starcraft 2, one of the most important units. In the end, of all the units in the Terran army, I'd say the Marauder is probably the most important unit. And here's why. So the Marauder, super cool, fun-loving guy. I'll make a butt ton, because we're going to have a fair amount of examples for this.
Kaboom, baby! Let's
Flood them out. Flood out the Marauders, yeah. So Marauders,
go on.
They have 125 health, right? They do 10 damage normally, but they do 20 damage versus armored units. So that means that like a single Marauder.
Just say when.
If I had it, go against say, we have a tank and a Marauder.
Oh,
If I take this Marauder and I'll fire one shot.
First round.
Back off. 20 damage is just done.
Don't
20
leave
damage
me
is just
hanging.
done. Versus if I say the Marauder shoots a
Sure.
say the Marauder targets a Marine.
Blast in time.
Did 10 damage.
Go
So
on.
it is doing the correct amount of damage. The point is it's so much more
Go
effective
ahead.
Say
at
the
killing
word.
tanks. So let's get 2 fresh tanks.
Fueled up, ready to go.
I'm gonna have a tank here, and I'll have a tank here.
What's our target?
We have a
Just
Marauder
say
here, and
when.
we're gonna have a
This
Marine.
better be good. Orders received.
I'll even order the Marine to start attacking first, and it'll take longer for the Marine to cut down his tank than it will be for the Marauder to get through their tank. Let's point something out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 seconds longer for the Marine to kill a tank on his own than a Marauder to kill a tank. A Marauder is significantly faster at killing enemy ground vehicles.
Let's
And
do this.
they actually are one of the higher DPSs of infantry in this game. They also have a really cool ability, which is the concussive shell. So let's actually go ahead. I haven't done this yet because I've only been using... Well, no, we can still use Marines, actually. We'll still use Marines.
Been waiting.
Because Marines
on
are the
you.
cheapo, easy to talk
Keep your
about.
shirt on,
Easy
Sparky.
to talk about stuff. So let's do an example of a Marine
By
fighting
the numbers, boys.
a Marauder.
Time's
Right?
a wasting.
And we'll show this example with
Say the
the
word,
Marauder
baby.
going after him. The Marine going
Armed
after him.
and ready.
Now,
What's up?
Marauder
Go on.
easily had that figured out. Let's go ahead and get some fresh
It's
stuff.
time's a wasting.
So now let's get a Marauder against a Marine with the concussive shell. Or no, sorry. Marauder with concussive shell against the Marine.
Research complete.
Don't leave
So
me
the
hanging.
concussive shell makes it so that way the enemies move
Got
slower.
a whole lot of love.
So let's go ahead and grab a fresh
This
Marine.
better be good.
Bring him down. This guy's toast.
By the numbers, boys.
Move him that way. He'll get killed off at some point.
You gonna give me orders?
So again, let's have this Marine attack
Roger.
that way.
Say
We'll have
the
this guy
word.
attack
Your
this way.
allies are having all the fun over there.
Look at how much slower it moves away. Okay, this Marauder now moves away. Look at how slow it is.
Sure thing.
It's much easier for the Marauder
Got
to do
it.
some micro and cutting.
Why not?
It's so much
Just
easier. Look
say
at how much
when.
more health
Go on.
this guy has. He has 10
Don't
more
leave
health
me hanging.
than
Say
versus
the word, baby.
a Marauder who didn't
Time's
have
a wasting.
concussive shell. The concussive.
Just say when.
And another cool thing is Marauders
Got
can
a
also
whole
stim,
lot of love.
so they can move over and
I'm
they can
all about
stim into combat. Look at how much faster they are. Incredible how much
Believe
faster
it.
they are. So working in tandem with Marines, as I'm sure you can
It's
probably see,
about to get
Marauders
heavy.
cover the heavy tanks, Marines target air and the lighter troops to soak up damage for the Marauders, whereas the Marauder can actually also be the meat shield for the Marines. So this is why they work incredibly well together. It's not necessarily that either unit is particularly overpowered on their own. It's this combination of the two that really makes them stand out over, other things. Now keep in mind, I am of course doing just smaller one-to-one unit comparisons. In larger groups, certain things, like for example the way they flood out, like say I grab
Got
all
a
these
whole
Marauders
lot
here,
of
and,
love. Let's do this.
I'm gonna order them to attack this building, because why not? I'll stim them. Look at how quickly this building's gonna go down. I'm not later, but as you've seen already, like just how good it is at
Don't
going
leave
off.
me hanging.
They're incredibly fast. They can
Don't
do
leave me
things.
hanging.
And think about it. I had to pull them away because they were almost going to kill this hive. But to 2,500 health, and this group of Marauders
You gonna give
Time's a wasting.
just destroyed it. Like, no question about it. So again, with Marines, I talked about in the Marine video. I'll go ahead and say it again.
You want
It's
a
just
piece
so
of me,
incredibly
boy?
important to have this concept understood and nailed
by the
down.
numbers, boys.
You have Marines, right? Marines
Affirmative.
attack first. And look at how they move. They're not.
Looking
No one's
forward to
catching
it.
up to them. Now, Marines are a little bit faster than
I'm
Marauders.
on it.
We'll say that, but in general,
Sure.
the Marines will stay
Can't
in the
wait.
position you want them, and the Marauders will stay in the position you want them.
Got it.
So if you have a big tank coming in, you want to have the Marauders in the front.
Of
If you have a
course.
lot of little dudes come in, like Zerglings,
I
you want to have the
feel
Marines
ya.
in front. Just kind of, I like to have this combination. Now, say they all get jumbled around.
Yes,
Ooh,
sir.
mixing them up,
You got
the
it.
best of my abilities. Still not that bad.
That's fine.
They'll do just fine engaging
Oh yeah.
opponents, even if they are a bit mixed up. I remember in Starcraft, units when they
Go
like
on.
to attack something,
Armed
they will
and
often
ready.
form into a
Sure
line.
thing.
That's something you actually don't necessarily want to have happen. So see, I'm going to order them to attack. See how the guys are going to move around? Notice how they're trying to get a good angle.
Orders received.
So you got to think about,
Why not?
if I want everyone to fire
better
as
be
soon as we
good.
get somewhere, I should put my
Will
Marines
do.
in front,
Say
my
the
Marauders in
word.
the back,
Been waiting on
move
you.
them, feel
You
free to
gonna give
adjust
me orders?
as needed.
10-4. Armed
And
and
then
ready.
I'll have these guys go ahead and make an attack. See how no one had to readjust when we made the attack.
Roger that.
It was just instant shooting. So very, very good to
Gang
point out.
say
Marauders
when.
also have one armor. They just have one armor already before even the Marines, who have 0 armor.
Say
So the fact that
word,
the
baby.
Marauders start with 1 armor, while they do move at 2.25,
By the numbers, boys.
the infantry also have a move speed of
Go
2.25, which that's something I failed to mention with the Reaper. So I was going to say.
You're the Reaper man.
Reapers move at 3.75. That's where you go. If you want to see the speed of your unit,
Don't leave me
look at
hanging.
the armor stat, because the armor is what's weighing down your unit, so obviously that'll dictate the speed. So concussive shells are pretty much a requirement. Just get them. They're just super useful. They slow down your enemy's movement, which is very good, especially if their attacking is part of their movement. So, like for example, if a Zergling's charging you, if he moves slower, he's going to get less attacks off, which means they're going to do much better. Marauder will totally obliterate a Zergling 1-to-1. However, it's important to note this Marauder is actually so the Marauder does more damage even
Been
than a
waiting
Marine.
on you.
Period. Like its base, at the worst it could do,
Just
Marauder will
say
still do a
when.
better job of killing the Marine. But the important thing to note is that Marauders do fire slower if they're not using Stimpak. Their weapon speed is 1.5, whereas a Marine is going to be at
Armed and ready.
0.86. So a Marine is going to get his higher DPS, which means the Marine is actually doing more damage than a Marauder when it's attacking a light unit. So, like, if you had a Marine attack a Zergling, it'll actually kill the Zergling faster than Marauder can kill a Zergling, because the Marine is just firing just that little bit faster, so that way it's doing 6, it does 6 damage in less than a second, whereas a Marauder takes a second and a half to deal 10 damage. So, Zergling has, I forgot how much health it is. Let me see real quick. How much health does Zergling have? Zergling has 35 health.
Time's a wasting.
If I go ahead and I want to attack this Zergling,
Say good night. Sure. Oh, it's on.
took 4 shots to kill it,
Who wants some?
relatively.
You gonna give me orders?
A
This
little bit
better be
faster,
good.
but it's very close.
By the numbers,
That's my point. Is
boys.
that Marauders technically have the edge, but it's very
Go
close.
on.
And
Been waiting.
Say
think about
the word,
how much of its
baby.
health was lost while I microed it.
Got
That's
it.
fair. So the Marine had
Armed
10
and
health
ready.
with combat shield. So that means a Zergling would actually kill a Marine 1-to-1.
By the
If
numbers, boys.
look here, let me grab a Zergling on this side to go fight an unupgraded Marine on the other side. Move this guy over here. Let's go over here. Grab this Marine.
Who wants some?
He's just gonna make an attack move
Orders
there.
received. You gonna give me orders? Affirmative.
So the Marine, the reason why the Marine edges out against the Zergling is
Been
because
waiting on you.
because the Zergling has to charge at your opponent.
Can't wait.
That's something that the Marauder
Got
really
a
plays
whole
off of.
lot of love.
This better
Instead
be
of a Marine
good.
who's coming after a Marauder,
Just say
the
when.
Marauder will shoot and then walk away. Shoot, then walk
all
away.
about
So
that.
no, I'm not gonna. Well, okay.
Sure thing.
See, the Marauder was taking damage
Got a
freely from the
whole
Marine, and
lot of
the
love.
Marauder was able
Why
to
not?
take it out fairly quick. So that's kind of the general principles of Marauders. Marauders do work in bunkers, and that'll actually help their range out. Bunkers do improve the range of Marauder. For example, if you fire that, that's about the limit.
Time
Versus
wasted.
Marauder want to fire it after. As you can see, move a bit closer.
Whole lot of love.
So it'll improve a bunker. I'm pretty sure it's been a while. It improves its range by 1. Pretty much improves any unit's range by 1, so it makes it a little bit better. So if you wanted to, for something I've been thinking about doing, I haven't done it yet, you could put Marines in a bunker or on a ledge. Sorry, yawning happened. You could put Marines on a ledge in a bunker, and they'd be able to cover more airspace defense than a missile turret could. But okay, maybe that's not quite true. The range is 7. Marine range would be 7. Okay, so I guess or no, the Marine range would be 6. Okay, so missile turret still has a higher range. Never mind. My theory was bad. Okay.
Time's a wasting.
So the Marauder, very good
First
against units
rounds
that are
on
melee
me.
charging them. They
Let's do
are
this.
armored, though. So keep that in mind. So units that get a bonus, that get bonus damage against armored,
It's
the
go time.
Marauder is very good
Got
at
it.
dealing out damage, but it's also an armored biological unit. So that means things like a Colossus melt through the armor of the Marauder. All right,
It's
they
about to
just
get
will
heavy.
obliterate it. So something you need to think about is Marauders. They're tanky against units that are good against non-armored. But if you're going against a unit that is good against armored, the Marauder is going to take the full force of the damage. So that's again why you want to have Marines in the front instead of Marauders generally, because Marines will not get that bonus damage from units who attack the armored units, who get bonus when they attack an armored unit. So that's something important to think about. So if a siege tank was attacking this group of Marines and Marauders, the Marauders would probably die quicker just because, well, actually granted, a siege tank's damage is pretty...
Go
Well, we'll get to
ahead.
there, but I'm just gonna double check. So, for example, a siege tank's sieged mode, when they're in the best they can, is doing 35 damage to non-biological, to non-armored, but in fact will do 50 damage here.
Favorite kind of damage.
Don't leave me hanging.
Just did about 50 damage to that.
Say the word.
Versus
Got no
siege
patience
tank
for
doing
sitting
damage
around.
there. Doing to that guy
You gonna
will do
give me
35
orders?
damage. So
Speak up.
they kill him at roughly the same rate. The Marine will die in 2
Been
shots.
waiting on.
Marauder dies
Just
in
say
3
when.
shots. But keep in mind
Go on.
that's assuming you're
Why
not
not?
charging, right? So Marine can
Believe it.
generally have more Marines than Marauders, and if you're good at
Who wants some?
microwaving your Marines, you'll be able to spread them out. And,
That's fine.
so when you're taking the damage from units that get a
Hit
bonus
me.
against
Got
armored
a
units,
whole lot of
generally you
love.
still do want to have your guys who die in 2 shots in front.
Armed
Because
and
Marauders
Don't
are the
leave
ones
me
who will
hanging.
do more damage to a tank, as we've already seen in the comparison between a Marine and Marauder killing a tank. You want to hang on to your Marauders more, so it's okay to let your Marines die to splash damage. So Marauder is incredibly valuable. Marauder can also stim. As I
Just
think I've showed
say
this off. Marauder can
Sure.
stim and he'll do
Go
significantly
time.
more damage.
Don't
Don't
leave me
forget that
hanging.
when you have your whole army,
By the numbers,
you can
boys.
stim them, and they all can move
Go, go,
together.
go.
They all move fairly good. Their speed is
Looking
again
forward
about
to it.
staying on the same
Sure.
par, same level, which is why
Got
you want
it.
Marines and Marauders to be together.
I'm on it.
Very important. And
I feel
very
ya.
big emphasis of the Terran army is to have these guys together.
Ready for dust
them up.
off.
And that
Ready
will
for
about
dust
cover
off.
the Marauder section. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. This has been super cool to do, just going through every single unit. The next unit up that we're going to be talking about is in fact going to be the Ghost, and then that'll wrap up our infantry section for the Terran units, and then we'll actually move on to the factory units, the vehicles, as this game likes to refer to them as. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I'm Elwirfy, and I'll see you guys next time.